keep an eye out. We've got 3 more people coming as well, so keep an eye out for any lost souls that you see just wandering over there. Those are some beautiful photographs. They're very nice. They look like the old Jeet Kune Do ones from the Inner Santo tapes back in the day.
Catchy, actually, if you look at it.
So look.
One is, I think that's the first one I ever had. It's about 20 odd years old, 25 years old.
That's very cool.
Jess is ready. Everybody be careful.
Everybody is ready.
Tell her then.
More ones.
Beating you up.
Alright, everybody ready? Cool. Right, we're going to look at a little bit of boxing for self-defense and how do we use the tool of boxing. What we're going to do is heavily redact out a lot of the content because the boxing that we'd normally do requires setup, it requires jabs, it requires different types of movement that we cannot afford. So if you think about an average street encounter, you've probably got between 1 and 3 shots before it becomes a wrestle. Yeah, on average you've got 1 and 3 shots if you're lucky, if you're very, very lucky. So you need to make sure that these are shots that count. These are shots that land with force and accuracy and power, because if you do not land those things well, you will then find yourself in a grapple, which tends to take time, it takes energy, it ties you up. It might allow others to get involved. You do need that grappling skill, but we want to work on how can we take some of the best of tools from boxing to hopefully ensure we don't get there. I always describe it like a lot of your typical fights are like 2 walruses fighting on a beach. They clash really fast and hard.
We're doing that this afternoon.
Yeah, walrus crashing. Yeah.
The walruses.
And so our first job is to get in the first shot before the walrus crash. I want to use that analogy, burn that into your mind. 2 big lumps of flesh going BAM! And we want to make sure we want to hit there first. So we're going to be looking at 3 boxing tools. We're going to be looking at your cross from either hand, we're going to be looking at your hooks, and we're going to be looking at overhands. We don't have time to be working in jabs or ring craft or other things that require time, skill, dexterity. You can't allow for that very much. So what we're going to look at is the first of the striking scenarios, which is against a rapidly accelerating person. So a person that is coming to you with force, with venom, with intention. And obviously there's all the stuff about, you know, can you de-escalate it, can you avoid it, can you run away? That's stuff for another day.
Tomorrow.
Put that on a shelf somewhere. We're just going to enjoy the pure violence aspect of this. And I want you to work on what I call a circus punch. Circus punch. And that is, when you go to a circus or an amusement arcade and you've got the big dangly bag, and you're like, yeah, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna whack this bag. You put everything into that shot. Your everything shot. I call the everything shot the circus punch. It's your biggest, hardest, most impressive shot. And we're gonna work on that against someone where they are closing range rapidly. So, what I want you to do is, in pairs, we're gonna have a shield or mitts or whatever you've got to be striking with. I'm gonna rapidly accelerate, so if I borrow you, good sir. What we're going to do, we're going to work on rapid acceleration. I'm going to move rapidly towards this man, and what I want him to do is something called Cuban shuffle or a Cuban step, which some of you have done with me before. So when you're striking with your cross, I want your crossing foot to travel forward and stamp the ground, really dig that foot in. So as opposed to a stepping cross, like so, I want this, bam! The feet should end up somewhat close together. It's a very Cuban, Soviet way of boxing. Boom, the feet come together. The reason we do this is it puts all of my mass forward, like so. When I do a traditional cross, some of my weight stays behind. In a Cuban format, bang, all of me is bearing down on him. There is roll and rotation of the shoulder, so as the threat's advancing, you might want to take an initial leading step, bang, that's your circus punch. Get that solid crossing. You'll find it starts to get really fucking annoying when people move fast at you. But you need to get good at getting this shot in fast, because if I don't land this shot in fast, we're going to end up in this grapple and we're going to end up tangling and wrestling. So I want you to practice this one solid right cross shot. Rear leg, steps close, toes to ground, bang! You're going for the body. Go for the jaw. I'm just doing it against your body because I'm nice. So if you imagine as the threat's accelerating, so you're accelerating towards me, bang, we need that shot coming in here. This foot needs to come. You should feel like if I don't connect I will keep barreling forward. That's the important thing. It can't be a quasi-committal like you would if you're sparring and if you're training. This is bang. It's about drop and drive. My body weight drops a little. I am driving my mass into him. Another reason why I'm dropping, my hips are lowering. So if I don't knock him out, or I fuck it up, or I miss, or any one of these things that could happen, I'm in a decent position to wrestle because my hips are low. I can then move into other stuff. I've dropped those hips somewhat. We want this hard, want this percussive, the circus punch with the Cuban step. Give it a go. So if I'm doing it, this jab, I'm going to start to walk slowly at you, and in. Analyse that a little bit more. Is he firing too soon or not soon enough?
Too late.
What do you guys think?
You're dropping, Matt.
I was a bit too late, wasn't I?
What do you guys think?
Too late to be on the full back here.
Right, let's watch again. I'm rapidly accelerating. I'm not even rapidly accelerating now. I am jauntily. A little bit better. Where do you think your range is? There we go. Much better. Yeah. Much better. Maybe not on my face, but it'll do. Now try it without the floating hand there. Go from normal, normal. And with a bit more power authority. Bang. Try again. Moving. Much better shot. Start to work in your own range. It will feel awkward, it will feel shit.
The timing's weird.
But you need to get used to this because we get so used to it. If I was to move around with you in a normal boxing way, yeah, go for it. Blah. Looks more impressive. Blah. Looks more impressive. Blah. Looks more impressive. If I go,
yeah, you're into it.
looks a bag of dog turd. But
Technical term.
this is the way in which people advance. No one walks up to you. It's not Monty Python.
Yeah, just back a bit.
People are just going to fucking cave his head in. I'm going to cave your fucking head in. See how important it is to land that first shot with timing, speed, accuracy, power. You'll all be able to land a decent cross in the normal boxing format. I want you to work on against a rapidly approaching target. How can I get as much mass, power into that killer drop shot? Give that a whirl. You want to have another go? Alright, okay. Bear in mind that this is a friendly walk. Friendly walk. That's a little bit better range. You don't need to
step
forward. Yeah. That's what's fucking your range.
Too close in. Yeah.
Much better. Much better. But I want you to figure some of this stuff out on your own. I don't want to spoon feed every nuance to you. I want you to play with it and you'll get a feel for when it's good and when it's shit. Give it a whirl.
Throw your head.